Welcome to What's Math. Please subscribe to my channel, like and share my videos. This video will focus on factoring with an emphasis on sum and the difference of two cubes. The difference and the sum of two cubes. Step 1. Find the cube root of the first term. Step 2. Find the cube root of the second term. Step 3. Use the correct formula. If it's a sum of two cubes, you want to use the top formula, but if it's a difference of two cubes, you're going to use the bottom formula. If you analyze the both of the resulting part of the formulas, you notice that the first parenthesis has an a followed by a b. The second parenthesis has an a squared followed by ab followed by a b squared. The only thing that is different is the signs. So if it's a sum of two cubes, you want to start off with a plus sign followed by a minus sign, followed by a plus sign. The last part is always a plus sign. If it's the difference of two cubes, it starts off with a minus sign, followed by a plus sign, followed by a plus sign. The last one is always a plus sign. Let's take a good look at the difference of two cubes. Example, factor x cubed minus 216. Let's remind ourselves of the steps. So therefore, the first thing I want to do is to find out what is the cube root of x cubed. And the cube root of x cubed is equal to x. Second thing I want to do is to find out what is the cube root of 216. And the cube root for 216 is equal to 6. Then I need to choose the correct formula. So I need to keep that in mind. But first I need to figure out what does that 6 and the x represent. The x is the value for A, and the 6 will be the value for B. And we are going to use the bottom formula because it's the difference of two cubes. And all I have to do is replace the A with x and the B with 6 in that formula. So it's going to be x minus 6, close parentheses, open parentheses, x squared plus x times 6 plus 6 squared. The only thing left for us to do is to simplify the second parentheses. So now we're going to end up with x minus 6, open parentheses, x squared plus 6x plus 36. Because 6 times 6 is 36, and x times 6 is 6x. And that would be your final answer. Let's take a good look at the sum of two cubes. Factor 125x cubed plus 8. Let's remind ourselves of the steps. The first thing I want to find out is what is the cube root of 125x cubed, and that is equal to 5x. Then I want to know what's the cube root of 8, and that is equal to 2. Now remember that 5x is the value of A, and the 2 will be the value of B. Now I just have to choose the right formula, and since it's the sum of two cubes, I will be using the top formula and replacing the A and the B respectively with 5x and 2. So what I'm going to have is 5x plus 2, open parentheses, 5x squared minus 5x times 2 plus 2 squared. You only need to simplify the second parentheses. So therefore we're going to have 5x plus 2, and 5 times 5 is 25, x times x is x squared, minus 5x times 2 is 10x, and 2 times 2 is 4. And that would be your final answer. Now let's go ahead and check for understanding. Number 1, factor 27x cubed minus 64. And for a challenge, I want to go ahead and factor 16x cubed plus 250. Solution. Factor 27x cubed minus 64. Let's remind ourselves of the rules or the steps. So first I want to know what is the cube root of 27x cubed, which is equal to 3x. I also wanted to know what's the cube root of 64, which is equal to 4. Remember that 3x represents the value of a and the value of b is 4. Now because it's a difference of two cubes, I need to use the bottom formula and I'm going to substitute those values into the formula. So it's going to be 3x minus 4, open parentheses 3x squared plus 3x times 4 plus 4 squared. So we end up with 3x minus 4, and 3 times 3 is 9, x times x is x squared, plus 3x times 4 is 12x, plus 4 times 4 is 16. Solution, factor completely, 16x cubed plus 2250. Important, remember, completely, it's a good chance that they have something in common, so I need to factor out a greatest common factor. So that's going to be 2 times 8 times x cubed plus 2 times 125, because I realized they have a 2 in common, so I didn't need to break it down beyond that stage. So that makes me, give me the opportunity to remove the 2. So now I have 2 times 8x cubed plus 125. Now we have the sum of two cubes. Using the rules, I want to find out what is the cube root of 8x cubed, and that is equal to 2x. I also want to know what is the cube root of 125, and that is equal to 5. Because it's a sum of two cubes, I will need to use the top formula. And also remind myself that 2x is A and 5 represent B. And we're using the top formula as stated before. I'm going to substitute the values in, and it's going to be 2 times 2x plus 5 times 2x squared minus 2x times 5 plus 5 squared. If you notice the GCF from the top, that 2 stays on the outside of parentheses, and you need to bring it along with you. You cannot forget about that 2. That's super important. Now I need to simplify the second parenthesis. So I'm going to have 2 times 2x plus 5. 2 times 2 is 4. X times x is x squared minus 2x times 5 is 10x. Followed by a plus sign. 5 times 5 is 25. And that is the final answer. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Click that little bell for further notification. Like and share my videos. If you like what you saw in the video, feel free to buy me a cup of coffee. It's not mandatory. Thanks in advance.